Hello students, in the last video we talked about direct and indirect speech, and today we are going to talk about converting speech in comics and graphic novels. So before starting, let's have a quick recap of what we did in the earlier video. First of all, let's talk about what is direct speech. Direct speech quotes the exact words that are spoken by the character, and the example is, she said, I love reading comics. Now let's talk about reported speech. Reported speech is actually paraphrasing or summarizing the spoken words, and the example is like this. She said that she loved reading comics. And when we talk about comics and graphic novels, how are these represented? In direct speech, comics have speech bubbles, whereas reported speech is often in narration boxes like this. Now, let's talk about why conversion is important and what is actually conversion of one speech into another. Speech conversion actually involves transforming direct speech to reported speech and vice versa, that is reported speech to direct speech. Also, this helps in summarizing, adapting, or even restructuring conversations while keeping their meaning intact. So it's pertinent to notice that we have to keep the essence of the conversation intact. It need not be changed. Now, first of all, we are going to talk about how to change direct to reported speech. Let's have a look at the steps for conversion. First of all, there has to be a change in pronouns. For example, I changes to he or she. Second, verb tenses shift. For example, the present tense changes to its corresponding past tense. And third is quotation marks are removed that are there in direct speech. Now let me show you an example for the same. We have this sentence in direct speech and it is in double inverted commas. It says, the teacher said the exam will be held next Monday, and when we are changing this into reported speech, it becomes like this. The teacher said that the exam would be held the following Monday, and we can see the change. For example, will changes to would here and next Monday changes to the following Monday, and there is one additional word that has been added, and that is that. Now let's talk about second conversion, that is how to change reported to direct speech. Now let's have a look at the steps for conversion. First of all, reintroduce the quotation marks. Second, we have to adjust pronouns and tense. And third, restore the original speaker's voice. And let me show you the example for the same. In reported speech, the sentence is, she told him that she liked his singing. I want you to pay attention to the fact, students, that in this we have past tense. So when we are changing reported speech to direct speech, we change the tense to its corresponding present tense, and it goes like this. I like your singing, she told him. So there's a change in the tense, that means liked changes to like, and we have reintroduced the quotation marks. Now, when we're talking about these two types of speech, what is the need to convert these in comics and graphic novels? There's a dire need. And why? It actually allows flexibility in storytelling. Understanding both the styles allows comic writers to adapt their narrative techniques to different storytelling needs. Secondly, it actually enhances the reader's engagement. Alternating between direct and reported speech actually controls pacing, builds some suspense, and also provide quick exposition without lengthy dialogues. Now that we have talked so much about changing direct to indirect, indirect to direct, so now is the time for a quick activity. This is a sentence for you, and yes, it is in direct speech. Why? Because it has inverted commas or the quotation marks. And the sentence is, we will play in the ground, she said. Now take out your notebook and start writing the correct answer for this. And I'm going to recap the steps for conversion once again. We have to remove the quotation marks. We have to change the pronouns only if needed. We have to change the verb tense, and finally adjust the sentence structures if needed. Now time to check our answers, and the answer is, she said that they would play in the ground. Now finally, when we're talking about converting these types of speech, let's have a look at some tips for conversion. First of all, whenever we are converting one type of speech to another, we have to maintain the character's voice. We have to ensure that the character's unique style as well as the tone are consistent even when the speech style changes. Secondly, we have to consider the contextual clues. We have to adapt the speech, be it direct or indirect speech, based on the context within the comic panel, even the scene, to enhance realism and relatability. I'm sure, students, now you have understood the steps of converting one type of speech to another, and you would be able to attempt this interesting task that I have for you. And the question is, you have to select one page from a graphic novel and write a short essay on how the use of direct or reported speech affects the storytelling, suggesting alternative narrative approaches using the opposite speech style. I'm sure you are going to enjoy doing this task, and yes, in the coming video, I'm going to discuss in detail more rules of converting one type of speech to another. Till then, happy learning.